You're watching PMA Perspective, a statewide source for business, government, and policy news. Reports from the field with PMA's Carl Morera. Newsmaker interviews with David N. Taylor. Now for a special episode of PMA Perspective.
Tom Pallison, Executive Director of the Manufacturers Association here in York County. Thanks so much for having us. Let's tell the viewers, where are we and what do you folks do here?
Well, thank you for coming, Dave. Happy to be on the show. And we are at the Center of Excellence for Apprenticeship and Training here at the Manufacturers Association of South Central Pennsylvania. And at this location, we train and educate the manufacturing workforce. This center we opened in January of 2021, and we train about 100 apprentices in 8 different trades to support our manufacturing workforce.
Well, and Tom, I understand that this is sort of the next step, advancing the work that the association has done over the years. Can you talk about the journey that brought you to this wonderful location now?
Right. The association's been invested in workforce development and training for about 20 years, and we started our apprenticeship program in 2005 with just a couple trades, and it's just grown tremendously over this time. In the last 3 years, the board of directors and the members decided we really needed to make an investment to address the worker skill shortage. So we've grown to over 100 apprentices. Wow. That are currently in the program. As I said, 8 different trades that we offer from the original 2. And we have over 50 manufacturers that participate in the training and it supports our activity here.
How much of the work that you do is doing entry-level stuff as compared with the work that you do upgrading the skills of incumbent workers?
Right. So our main focus here at the association is helping our manufacturing members, the currently employed incumbent workers, as you say. So we're really focused on upskilling the current workforce through apprenticeships, through additional skills, through professional development. And through that side of our work, we train about 2,500 people in manufacturing. And probably, 5 or 10% of that work is actually starting with folks that are underemployed and unemployed to try and get them into the manufacturing workforce, because we also need a great pipeline to help fill that workforce in a growing manufacturing sector.
Well, it's great to see the involvement and support of the manufacturing employers in this region. Of course, York County is known for having a strong contribution from manufacturing to uphold the quality of life here. Can you talk about those relationships and how they've grown with the opening of the center?
Sure. We were in a much smaller location prior to this facility, so we weren't able to really bring in our manufacturing and the manufacturing community to talk about manufacturing training and the apprenticeships. And with our new expanded facility of 12,000 square feet, we have a machine shop that we've expanded in the building. We have a computer lab that's greatly enhanced that can teach the automation and technology skills of tomorrow. We've expanded our training facility space. So the manufacturers really saw this and really got excited about what we were able to offer. This expansion of our resources and our capacity really engaged a lot of the community, and we've really gotten a lot of support from the manufacturers.
Oh, that's tremendous. Well, Tom, you mentioned a little bit about the capacity of the center. So how many students have you helped over time? What's your current sort of annual total, and what do you hope to do going forward?
Sure, yeah. We started small, as I said, on the apprenticeship side in 2005 with just a handful of students. And over that time period since then, we've graduated about 10 to 20 people every year. So we're in the hundreds upon hundreds of apprentices and journey workers that have graduated in the trades. And what's exciting about the last 2 years, we've grown from about 40 apprentices in the program to well over 100. So it's really resonating with the manufacturing community.
And we had the chance to meet some of those apprentices. They spoke with Carl Morera. Let's take a look now.
Thanks so much for joining us on PMA Perspective. Can you introduce yourself to the viewers? What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Blaine Troutman. I'm from Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
What got you interested in the program here at this amazing facility?
My father and my uncle were both in the machining field. They kind of got me interested in going into machining. I started at my local Lebanon County Career and Technology Center. My former employer got me interested in the Manufacturing Association, and I've continued it out. The cool thing about the apprenticeship program is you're working and going to school at night. So you're learning on the job and then learning the books at night. Got to graduate, get my journeyman's papers, and just keep on working.
What do you like best about your job and what you're doing?
I like to see how the part comes in as a raw material or a raw casting, and it leaves as something that's going to go into a field. We make a lot of air compressor parts, component parts for power plants, and the cool stuff is our military stuff. Through knowing that that's going to go out into our military fleet, it's a rewarding feeling seeing something come in that can't do anything and it leaves ready to be assembled.
So you are still young, but what advice would you give to your even younger self as you worked your way up through that process and working in this field?
I wouldn't have changed anything. This being able to go right from high school into the working field, I think now more than ever, you're seeing the trades fields needing more and more jobs. The trades aren't going away. Everything that you see around you, it was started in a trade, whether it's a metal shop, a welding shop, a carpentry shop. Everything starts somewhere in a trade.
I am Karina Harmis. I am from New Freedom, Pennsylvania, and I am currently a tool and die journeyman, and I also run the wire EDM machines.
What are you making that's entering the marketplace that people might be interacting with?
So my main job is the wire EDM machines, and with that I produce pacemaker battery terminals, and I produce thousands of them. It is our main job.
So that's going to end up in a pacemaker that's going to end up
Yes.
inside of someone keeping them alive.
That is very correct.
My name is Corey Willard. I'm from York, PA, and right now I'm currently a mechanical design engineer at RG Group.
So what got you into this field?
I got into manufacturing later in life. I worked at a construction company and I was really going nowhere. A friend of mine was in the industry, so he got me a job at a company where I was able to get my journeyman tool and die papers. My tool and die papers pushed me towards an engineering degree, and right now I'm currently working on robotics integrations for manufacturing companies all throughout the area.
Do you wish that you would have entered this field maybe a little bit earlier in your life?
I really do, because it's a really rewarding career. And I had a really good time with going through and doing the apprenticeship that I'm actually teaching now for the Manufacturers Association.
As I mentioned before, in addition to the apprenticeship activity, we really provide a lot of specific skilled training for individuals and the employers. They may need to hone a particular single skill. They may not need a whole apprenticeship program. So we've really gone from about 1,500 people a year that we train from that side of the house to well over 2,500. And I think we'll be at 3,000 folks trained by the end of this year.
Wow, that's fantastic. And we hear all the time that the workforce challenge is really the most of the many critical things facing manufacturers. That the workforce crisis is the one that is most urgent. And so, anyway, just commend you folks for taking a hands-on approach to actually, doing your part to solve the problem directly. And this is part of what makes your community strong with manufacturing, that it's not just the presence of these businesses, it's the culture and the ethos and building out that base of skilled workers who know how to do this kind of work.
Yeah, I think we all know that manufacturing is really important in Pennsylvania, but it's even more so important in South Central PA. We've really seen an emphasis and a partnership with our school districts as well, that they really talked about investing more in the trades and getting more involved and getting students out to companies. So it's
that's fascinating, and again, that's another critically important thing to help young people, but also the faculty and the administration to understand the value that manufacturing adds, the role that it plays in our in the local economy. Can you describe those efforts and how they're advancing?
Right. So to have a successful manufacturing economy, we need that. We're desperate for that pipeline. There was a report recently from an organization in the region that talked about having a gap of skilled workers of nearly 13,000 individuals by 2029. So having programs in place, career development, career education, job shadowing, co-ops, and internships is critical. We recently started 3 years ago a pre-apprenticeship program, which allows students in high school to learn about manufacturing, engage with manufacturing companies, and hopefully we can cultivate that interest and they pursue manufacturing careers, especially in the companies that offer apprenticeships.
I mean, I was just say that's again another really innovative thing. How does that program work for pre-apprentice participants?
So we work with the school districts, and we have a 2-year program, typically juniors and seniors, and we have about 6 or 7 sessions during each of those years where they learn about manufacturing, blueprint reading, measuring. Math is very important. In year 2, we really get them in the shop, do some hands-on work. And what's nice about this program is they can earn credit towards a registered apprenticeship if they move on to one of our member companies to really advance their career quickly.
Well, that's tremendous. How many of the school districts in your region are participating?
We have about 85 students that are registered across 20 different school districts in 5 different counties, so it's really exciting. Wow.
Well, Tom, every time I ask you another question, you give me another breakthrough piece of information. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been great.
Well, we're so excited to be here today with you. What do you have planned for us next?
Well, thank you for being here, Dave. Appreciate you coming. And next we have Chris Zimmerman, who is our apprentice coordinator, and he manages the program for us and is involved in growing and meeting with our companies to develop workforce opportunities.
Outstanding. Well, let me go talk to him now. Well, Chris Zimmerman, you're one of the faculty here at the center. Tell us about what you do and how you got involved in all this.
Well, what I do here at the association, I am the apprenticeship coordinator. So that involves me, first off, being in the companies. I know what each company does. I understand their training needs, and I help them decide what training they need to go with as far as what we provide. It's really working with a lot of the companies and letting them know what's available to them. I spent 30 years in manufacturing as a career, and all the different things had kind of led me. I worked with apprentices over the years. I developed a passion to bring new people into manufacturing. So I started instructing with the association here at night. I was teaching math, and I think that was in 2016, and in 2019 this position came available, and I had no choice but to take.
Right.
I had to.
Fits like a glove.
I feel like my career guided me right in that direction. So with our association here, all of our instructors are tradesmen. They're professional tradesmen. So I spend some of my time recruiting, and it's just an incredibly dynamic situation. It works like crazy, and it really has helped us be successful.
Tell some stories about the experiences that you've had with some of your apprentices and the way that they've been able to go on to success in life.
The one that we actually saw today, Corey Willard, he's kind of like a poster child for us. He has gone through an apprenticeship, really didn't have a lot of background, actually finished the apprenticeship a year early.
Wow.
And then through his drive and determination, he got into the engineering department where he was working, and started going to college, night school, to achieve his engineering degree. And now is a industrial engineer in a big spot, and he's come back to be an instructor with us as well.
Fantastic.
So that's a pretty common. It's more than you think. It's not just a anomaly. I mean, it really does happen.
And for folks to be able to take pride in their work, to excel, to master a discipline,
Absolutely.
it's empowering, and it also helps to to give people a sense of identity, that I am a machinist, I am, a master of this particular skill.
Yeah, they do impress themselves. Everybody here on our staff, we're all very passionate about our mission, and that's a big part of what keeps us working so hard, is we want to see manufacturing strong again, and we do everything we can to make it happen. And so we're always creating new curriculum, creating new programs, and we're also upgrading old programs because the technology keeps moving forward.
Absolutely. And especially if you're helping with upgrading the skills of incumbent workers,
right.
you've got to have the same gear that they have,
Exactly.
in the facility and able to impart the skills at the current level.
Right. That's right. Yeah, a lot of what we do, the new classes we create, are out of necessity of our member companies. So a big thing is the ushering in of the automation and the electronics. The machinist, it's not enough anymore just to be mechanical. You've got to understand the electronics that drive the new automation.
What are your hopes for the program in the coming years? How do you hope to see it mature or expand or better serve in the coming years?
I just am, and I'm seeing it already, I am looking forward to it just growing, where before a lot of the young people didn't understand what manufacturing was. They didn't realize that every single thing they touch has been manufactured, everything without fail. So part of us going into the schools and educating these students of the opportunity in manufacturing and where it can lead, I think that's really starting to fill the pipeline. And we are always getting into new technology.
And talking about expanding the programs that are offered, Carl got to talk with one of your colleagues about that. Let's go there now.
Well, Bob, thank you so much for showing us about the different courses that you teach and how you teach them to the students. Give us an insight as to what that might look like.
Well, we begin with CNC 1, which we go through this book right here. It's called CNC Programming Handbook by Peter Schmid. We thoroughly cover a lot of the programming technology from this, and then we graduate sort of from that into doing the CAD-CAM. CAD being computer-aided drafting and CAM being computer-aided machining. So what I'm going to show you today is, this is called Esprit CAM by DP Technologies. You'll see here that there's a drawing here, and then there's an area here that I have machining operations on it. I'm going to simulate this now. That was a drilling operation. This is also a second drilling operation. So it starts out with a facing mill that comes across here and faces the part, and then two different drilling operations, a tapping operation, and then contouring, and then threading.
So the students doing this are learning the theory behind it before they're applying it in your lab.
Exactly.
How do they then apply that to the workplace?
When they when they finish school here and their company that they're with and that they're going through an apprenticeship with the state of Pennsylvania with, they will actually purchase a software like this or something similar to this, and they will take working drawings and create programs for that for manufacturing. So that's how they basically take the basic knowledge here, the CAD-CAM, and then they take that to their workplace and learn how to do the machining operations.
And Bob, may I ask you your background? How long have you been teaching these courses, and what was your employment history before that?
Well, I'll start with how many years I've been teaching these courses, and that's 41 years.
Wow.
And I've been working in the manufacturing trades since 1973. So teaching is kind of what I love to do. And now that I'm retired, but still working part-time, I enjoy doing this with the students and teaching them what I have learned over all these years.
So you showed us one program and one machine, but you want to show us another. You're really excited about this other
Yes.
machine. Tell the viewers what we're about to see next.
Okay, Carl, what we're looking at right now is a drawing that you would find in a shop. What we're going to do today is we're going to transfer this 2D drawing into a 3D simulation of what you will be seeing on the lathe out in the shop.
And this is a project that students would complete in their training here?
Correct. This is one of the projects they do.
So now that we have the simulation done here, that creates code that then translates to the machine. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And the machine is right out here, and we can actually see this part in real life?
By all means. Okay, this is a Hawes TL1 turning center. And what this does, if you look inside the cabinet here, you'll see what we call a chuck. It's called a chuck. And you'll see there's a workpiece in here made of aluminum. And that will spin, and then over here on the turret, there will be several different tools that will begin to machine this part as it's spinning at high RPMs. So in manufacturing, this would make all kinds of shafts. This is the screen right here, the control panel. This screen up here tells you what tool is going to do what. This is the code of what it's supposed to do and when it's supposed to do it.
Cool.
Okay,
right.
So you ready to run?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay.
All right, so the operation on the machine is done. Let's see what the end result is.
Sure. Take my chuck key here, and I will take this part out.
And there you have it, just like we saw in the program simulation.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for showing us all these operations and sharing with us all of the experience that you have in your 41 years in this field. What would you tell a young person who's considering a career in this field?
I think there are students out there that wish to work with their hands. And what you've seen today is basically working with raw materials, working with your hands, doing some programming, a lot of high tech involved. So I think that for students today, if you wished for a career in machining technology or in tool and die, whatever it may be, I think it's a great adventure. I think there's a fulfillment in doing this kind of thing because you can actually hold a part that you have made. So I think it's a fantastic avenue for students to go on.
Well, Tom, in the face of the really exciting opportunities that are manifesting here, what are some of the challenges that you still need to overcome?
Sure, yeah. Apprenticeships are a big investment by the companies and by organizations. And one of the issues we found that can be challenging is finding the instructor capacity to help us train the future workforce and the current workforce. So finding instructors of the caliber that we can bring in and really provide the curriculum and training to really upgrade these folks has been definitely a challenge. We've been fortunate where our member companies have folks that they've loaned us, so they work during the day at our member company and then they come here in the evening and teach the courses. But that can be challenging to maintain that level of instruction.
What are you envisioning doing to try to sustain that faculty for the facility and to expand it?
Well, there's a couple things we're working on, and I think there was some folks here today, alumni. So we've, as I mentioned, 500-600 folks have gone through the program over the last 17 years, and people like to give back. So going back to those folks and bringing them back into the association and teach what they've learned to the apprentices that they once were to do that. We've actually partnered with some of the local school districts and some of the courses where they can provide evening support for our apprentices. But one of the big things I think we could all do is really focus on the image of manufacturing and how important it is. I think sometimes manufacturing isn't as prominent as maybe some other sectors and people aren't as familiar, but if we can really get some cheerleaders at the state level and regulatory level to really promote and talk about the the opportunities of manufacturing, that would really help us.
Yes, because there are so many great careers that are waiting in the skilled trades and in manufacturing, and that you have these good paying, family sustaining jobs that go wanting.
Right.
And if we can just help, number one, help people to understand the really great opportunities that are out there with, at companies that are cutting edge, state of the art, leaders in research and development, the consumers of information technologies, like the high tech jobs of the future are manufacturing jobs. And again, insofar as people have a mental image of manufacturing, like a blast furnace at a steel mill from the 1940s, then they don't understand how far we've come. But one really critical element of that is bringing people into the manufacturing facility and getting the teachers and the administrators through the doors of that manufacturing firm, so that they can see the work that's being done, the technology that's being deployed, the value that's being added, and that these are great jobs that are right here, right now in our own community, to get them to think, hey, what are we doing at our school to help to prepare our students to take up this kind of work if they want to?
Right, that's exactly right, Dave. Companies really need to be more external and engaging with schools and the youth and get more involved. I think manufacturers in the past may not have been engaged in some of these areas, and as we develop our future workforce, that's something companies can really take advantage of. Schools are welcoming to talk about careers and what opportunities in manufacturing, so companies really need to go out and do that. And you're correct, the nature of manufacturing has dramatically changed. As evidence in our apprenticeship program, we added a robotics and automation apprenticeship last year, the first 4-year program in the state, because that's where manufacturing is going. It's technology, it's automation, it's highly skilled, great opportunities. We make things in this region for the space station, for turf for the NFL fields, and for the military, the highest technology to defend this country. So there's great opportunities, a lot of diversity in careers that people need to know about.
Well, Tom, it has been the most wonderful day here with you at your facility. This is just fantastic. Where can the viewers go to learn more about you and the association and the training and how they can get involved?
Great, and thank you for coming, Dave. It's been a great day as well. To find out more, please go to our website, the Manufacturers Association, and we're located here in York, Pennsylvania, and we're always welcome to do tours and bring folks in to take a look at what we're doing. You can also find us on social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all of the social media, so please reach out. We'd love to talk to you.
Fantastic. Well, that's all the time we have for PMA Perspective this week. We'll return next week with another program, and until then, stay current on what's happening in your state government by visiting pamanufacturers.org. From all of us at PMA, thanks to the Manufacturers Association. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.